Romantic period, 1830 to 1865. Despite what you might think, the Romantic period focused on the individual over society, not romance. This period in literature began during the early 1800s. It wasn't only a style of writing, it was an intellectual movement that began due to the views of the Revolutionary period, as well as the political norms of the Age of Enlightenment and scientific rationale of nature. Most Romantic writers focus on the forces of nature and the emotion of intellect tied in with it. There were a lot of new ideas introduced during this time, and with it new words too. The sublime, for instance, was a word used to describe what transcendentalists called a spiritual realm. It was considered to be a spiritual, supernatural world within ours, coming from the Latin word sublimis, meaning beneath the surface. Ornate style was a style of writing embellished with rhetoric, florid, or high flow. Many transcendentalists used folklore as a source of inspiration to tell their stories. Fireside poets were also known for their storytelling. These poets were famous for having writing that could be told and remembered through a fire. There were two main groups, the Transcendentalists and Dark Romantics. The Dark Romantics were pessimistic, they lacked optimism, and they focused on the darker side of human existence. They thought spiritual facts are not necessarily good or harmless, but humans are by nature. A few traits of Dark Romantics they mainly focus on death, terror, and anger. Edgar Allan Poe and Herman Melville were both famous writers of the Dark Romantics. On the opposite side, however, Transcendentalists were optimistic, and they also ignored the darker, less fortunate side of life, like the Dark Romantics did. They worked to reach the ultimate reality of God, the universe, and oneself. They believed that the world is a reflection of the divine soul. Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau were both famous authors of the Transcendentalists. Even today, Romanticism has never disappeared. It has just been called other things like realism, and modernism. Many great poets and authors of the 20th century quote the Romantics as their greatest inspirational voice. The Romantic writers were called innovators, and their work is still being told and read all over the world today.